Again, it's me, Kerry Ann. Just in case you didn't know, my name's Kerry Ann, but you can call me Kez. Just don't call me Kerry. My full name is Kerry Ann. Don't call me Kerry. All right, that's me. Anyways, yeah, just a quick one. Methinks, because I went out last night. That's why I look rough as fuck. Rough as absolute nuts, mate. Because I went out on the lash, and getting into town, getting back from town, got myself an Uber. Now, last night it was an Indian taking me and an Afghanistani man. An Afghan? Like, I like literally, if I say Afghan, I think dogs and blankets, rugs. Like, so I don't know if they're called Afghans or Afghanistani man. Don't know. Bloody lovely fellas. Had a little chat. Now, I think I've done this video before, but I just want to top it up because I've spoken to new people. Went out last week as well. I know. Shocking. I went out last week as well, and the chap that I went in there with was Iranian. But all of these guys are brown-skinned gentlemen, you know. And so I ask everybody who's brown-skinned, wherever they're from, the exact same question. That being, do you get offended when somebody misraces you? Right? Because obviously, you know, I mean, I had a really, well, actually, last night, both chats were really deep. It was wicked. I love Uber drivers, man. They're my favourite. Because you get to talk to them about fucking everything. They don't give two shiny shits. It's like, yeah, I'll talk to you about fucking government corruption and shit like that. I don't care. Yeah, so anyways, so I always ask if somebody looks like they might be, well, if they're, you know, Middle Eastern or whatever, Asian, whatever. People, when I was a little girl, we people, the adults back in those days used to call everybody who was Indian, Pakistani or what, the P word, P-A-K-I. I don't like saying it, so. But that's what everybody, you know, like, be you Indian, be you Pakistani, you're going to get called Pakistani, you know, because that's the go-to racial slur. And yes, the Iranian and the Afghanistani manny. So sorry to everybody from Afghanistan. And you know that we talked about 9/11. You know that I got him to pull the car over halfway home so I could sit in the front and have a proper chat. Love it, you know. Because I'm going to get other people's opinions. Do you know what I mean? There's no point in me just having my opinion and that being gospel. That's what them bastards are like. And no, I'm sorry, but everybody's opinion is valuable. And yes, all of these people have been misraced. At one point in time, been called a PAKI, right? All of them, Indians and whatever. And not a one. We're coming up to about a dozen people that I've asked this question to now. Gotta be, because I've been asking it for months and months, and just to anybody that I can get into conversation with. And no, not a single one of these men have been offended. Even though it's a racial slur, they've not been offended by being called that Pakistani manny. None of them. Couldn't give two shiny shits. Right? Now, why then are white blokes, bold, fat, middle-aged white men, angry as fuck if you say they're not a woman? If you're not even misgendering. You're not misgendering them. That has got a penis. That's a man. It has. Do you know this whole, like, you know, like, it's taboo now to say what is a woman, because and literally this is what boils down to. I'm like, right, okay, well, why is it that you are allowed and nobody gets offended if you misrace? But if you misgender, oh, there's fucking hell to pay. Now, my particular theory on that, let me know if you think I'm right or wrong, is that it's advertised to us from up there. We are told these are the people who get the airtime, the angry bastards, the angry fellas with too much fucking testosterone. Because don't know about anybody else, it ain't fucking ladylike to get angry like the, says she, getting fucking angry. But I do, at them bastards. I have one enemy, and that's them bastards. The ones who could literally have my head chopped off on a whim. They're my enemy, not like Arthur or Martha. Do you know what I mean? It's like, live your life. You do you, sugar tits. Just don't put it on anybody else. If somebody wants to call out the fact that you have testes, and that's, the man-woman thing. Men have testes. Women have ovaries. That's where our baby-making things come from. You can never be born, unless you're a hermaphrodite, you cannot be born male with, there's the occasional, freak of nature and whatever. But if you're born a man and you decide to be a woman, you're never going to have ovaries. You're never going to be able to conceive a child by normal penetrative sex, by your egg and his egg, coming together, and you know what I mean? That's, to me, what separates us, testes and ovaries. Where are your sacs? Where are your egg sacs? If they're inside your body, at the side of your womb, you're a woman. If they're hanging off behind your knob, you're a man. No? Anyways, and if me calling that out is seen as hate speech. Yeah, if I got in that taxi last night and called that Indian a packy bastard, sorry, I'm just going to say it for effect, if I'd done that, he wouldn't have been offended. Because it's not been advertised to us from up there that it's even a thing. We've got to stop blindly believing what they tell us on the fucking shiny picture box in the corner of the room that all the furniture's pointing at, and what we open up and read in the morning. Do you know what I mean? Because they do not have good intentions for us. The whole transgender agenda is just that. It's an agenda. It's creating division and hatred. And, like fully grown men you can literally call them like somebody coming up to me and calling me a Polish bastard because I'm white. Polish people are white, right? I am really quite stupid, as you can tell. Or calling me American. Oh, you fucking American bitch. And it's like, actually, I wouldn't be offended by that. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't be offended by that. If you said I look like a man, it'd sting, but I wouldn't be offended by that. I don't join in with this getting offended shit. So many people get offended, and they're the ones that get on TV. They're the ones that have the voice. So I would just like to give a huge round of applause to everybody with brown skin who just goes about their daily business without getting offended, because I think you're amazing. And I think you're amazing if you're a bloke and you dress up. Do you know what I mean? I had a close family member, he's passed on now, bless him, who was a transvestite. I grew up with transvestitism. Do you know what I mean? I grew up with my stepdad was a transvestite. And I just lived with that. He came into my life when I was 13. It's perfectly fine. Lived with it. Grew up with that shit. Didn't bother me at all. Now, try and find me a transvestite. They've all disappeared. Do you know what I mean? You have to actually be the other sex. You have to live your life as the opposite sex. Now, my stepdad, he was fucking brilliant. Couldn't stand gays. Couldn't bear gays at all. Absolutely fucking hated him. And yet, he had an alter ego. Do you know what I mean? And that was fine. Do you know what I mean? That was allowed back then. Now, you've got to full-on live your life as the opposite sex. Where's the logic? Why can't you be a bit of both? Why can't you bend the genders? Why can't you be a gender bender? Why do you have to go all in like Leah Thomas? It's like, no, I'm a man. I dress up as a kink and a fetish. Do you know what I mean? He's been outed as being fetishist. Sam Smith, it's about kink and fetish. Just look at the dude. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing feminine about him whatsoever except for the fucking frills he chooses to wear. He doesn't live his life as a fucking woman. He's a raging bender. It's not, it's just fashion. So I've had conversation. The Indian chap last night was totally having this whole conversation, completely agreeing with me. So that's absolutely fucking nuts. Anyways, let me know what you think. Am I going to be Rowland? But it pisses me off because everything that they do pisses me off. The shit that they make us live through, the shit that they make us do to each other, just so that we don't look at them and their obscene amounts of wealth. They could just get away with it. They could live their life. It's like, chuck them a little fucking, bread and circuses and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Throw them a ball, they'll just be all like, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the goddamn ball. And we'll just fucking sit there and, yes, troubly. Yes. You know what I mean? Look at them, look at the plebs, stupid people, falling for it again. Yeah, anyways, if you made it till the end, I owe you a bevy, and just know I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to sit there, drink it with you, and talk to you like you're an Uber driver the whole fucking time. Love Uber drivers. And live for Uber drivers in Leicester. I've only come across one white one. Oh, God, he did my head in. Oh, lovely chap, but it was at the wrong... I'd just spent 24 hours going up to Sunderland and back, and I'd not fucking slept. I'd tried to sleep on the bus, put me home, and I'd just, had a few drop-offs, and I was just sitting there just get me home, I need to get to bed. And this bloke was talking to me about fucking car engines, and I'm like, stop speaking, please. Anyways, yeah, so thank you for sticking with me. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you, every single one of you. And if you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. Please consider giving me a like just in case it does anything. And if you think that I've got a point, feel free to share anything. Anything that I post on Facebook or on YouTube or on TikTok, you are welcome to share. I just want to get the conversation started. Who's with me? Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and never forget that I love you all. Bye.